Hey, what's going on, AP Gov people? We have video 42, making the federal budget. So we're going to dive into how exactly the budget is made every year. So some four main players you should be familiar with: the president, and through the president, the Office of Management and Budget, or OMB as I will call it. Congress is number two, and through Congress you have the Congressional Budget Office, or CBO. Also interest groups, and finally agencies. So these four main players are going to help create the budget every year. So let's start off talking about the president and OMB. By law, the president must propose a budget to Congress every single year. And this reflects the ideas and beliefs of the president, the budget does. So perhaps the president wants to spend more on social programs, or more on military, or more on education, or anything you could think of. This is reflecting the ideas and beliefs of the president and the party in power. Another example could be lower taxes for companies, and as I mentioned, more spending on social programs. The OMB works all year analyzing and preparing the budget, and the current director is Mick Mulvaney, appointed by President Trump, and the director is appointed by the president. And increases in one area usually is offset by cuts elsewhere or through raising taxes. Remember, with a budget, the government always tries to get as close to a balanced budget as possible, although in recent years that has not happened. So if you increase one program area, there's usually going to be an offset in another area or raising taxes. Now let's jump on over to Congress and the CBO. Congress passes the budget. The president proposes it as chief legislator, but Congress is responsible for actually passing the budget. The House Ways and Means and the Senate Finance Committees focus on taxes. Will they go up? Will they go down? The Congressional Budget Office, which is headed by Keith Hall, this is Congress's version of the OMB, so they analyze the budget from their end. And most members of Congress want to use credit claiming, and this helps lead to a large budget every year. What do I mean by credit claiming? Well, they want federal money for a local project. So a congressional member can go home to their constituents and say, look, this is what I brought you in our budget. This is how this area and you as an individual are benefiting. So 535 members of Congress, including the House and the Senate, all of them are participating in credit claiming. That leads to an increase in the budget. Okay, interest groups, they will lobby or advocate Congress for funds that benefit them. So for an example, an interest group for farmers will advocate for farm subsidies, especially to farmers, say, in Iowa who grow lots of corn. Agencies, which we covered in detail in video number 34, they will advocate the same or increase funding from the previous year. So for example, the Department of Defense, an example of an agency, they will call for at least the same amount of funding, if not more. Most agencies will not want to see their funding cut. And this makes it hard to cut funding. There's lots of employees, there's lots of lobbying that goes on, there's lots of ways that they explain why their agency is beneficial to the government. Now going back to the Iron Triangle, video number 17, definitely know this. This is made up of three parts: Congress, interest groups, and the bureaucracy. Take a moment, study this, make sure you know how each one of these three interact with each other. Also be able to identify each of these three for multiple choice, and explain if you see it on a free response question. Okay, for test tips, multiple choice, know the Iron Triangle, groups involved in making the budget. Free response, how the budget is made, what is the role of each group, and of course the Iron Triangle as well. Look forward to see you back here for video 43. We're jumping over to Keynesian and supply side economics. It's going to be a good one. Thank you very much for watching. Best of luck this year, and have a good day.